ladies and gentlemen. I'm pleased to welcome you to another episode of me. So, let's get started. Today I plan to show you how I've been making these rocking step stools. But before I get started, I want to cover two topics. First, thank you for the privilege it is to have your attention for these next few minutes. And second, safety goggles! Let's get started. Time to get the feet gluing up. By the way, some of you might consider this crazy, but I like to keep my safety equipment right here physically on top of the saw blade. It's like really hard to screw up that way. Just a thought, all right? Also, I'm a big fan of this water-soluble glue because it comes right out in the laundry. Now, the smart thing to do is to actually give that a good rinsing, which I am just about to do, so don't go away. I'll come back in about an hour. Hey, that was was quick. So I'm going to quickly find the center. For lack of a proper drill press, I found this at like 30 bucks way back when, and I thought, gee, that'll enable me to drill nice, perfect, straight holes. It's better than trying to freehand it, but it really isn't what it's cracked up to be. Hopefully that's deep enough. Set my ruler to 4 5/8, and I'll just go up and down looking for a peg hole that seems centered at about 4 5/8, maybe a little bit less. And looks like it's going to be the best one. So that's the one I'll use. But I don't need to know that quite yet, because I need to get my peg into the hole. So, no, I'm not going to beat on my table saw. So that's the hole I want. But the other easy way to find it now is just to hold this edge up against the edge of the jig, and it'll pretty much find itself. All right. Okay, a more perfect circle could not be had. So I did an earlier video detailing a little bit of the construction of this tabletop, which is actually a tabletop router. There's a roundover bit with a collar installed right here. And I got to tell you, it's been amazing. The legs are they're holding up great. I'm really happy with it. And one of, I think, the better decisions was building it to a 30-inch height so that I can sit in a chair and work. Oh yes, that reminds me. Sanding is an application when you should probably wear a mask. Take this disc and cut it into my two legs. But I don't want to cut it right exactly down the center, because that's going to give the final product too much of a tendency to roll all the way over. 9 1/8. But I think I want to try 70 degrees and give myself just a little more height. The cosine of 70, I'm going to actually take 1 minus that, in order to get the distance from the edge. That's actually the fraction now. Now I need to multiply by my radius. So times 9.1 125 divided by 2. And that tells me that I need to set my rip fence to 3 inches, almost on the dot. So the plan is that we're going to take these legs and put them in a slot here, 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 and here, and each one's at the bottom of these footrest top parts. Well, shoot, these were my grandfather's calipers. 650 plus 15. It takes practice to read these calipers. So on this side, call it 665. Looks like that'll work all the way down. And this one is reading, let's say, just about the same. So that's actually kind of handy. We are plugged in, but I need to set the depth of cut. And this one is, let's see, call it 5/8. So I'll do 5/16. That'll be just about halfway down. Alright, now for the fun part. Fits perfectly. I want to try to make sure to get glue on the sides as well. Great thing about this water-soluble glue is, you don't too much have to worry about the excess going where you don't want it, because it'll come off easy. Of course, that means you don't want to leave this out in the rain afterwards. But you aren't going to do that anyway, now are you? No, you're going to use it in an office environment where it'll be nice and pristine. So I've sort of figured out that you don't want to bang on your glue-ups if you can avoid it. It doesn't typically help. It's much better to force them into place with clamping pressure or something. Any slight imperfections we can clean up with sandpaper later on. Okay, I'm going to use these V blocks, the opposite from the normal way, just as glue-up supports. And again, you don't want to clamp crazy hard, just so it's kind of, firmly in there. And that's all you need. If you have a little bit of glue squeezing out, that's great. One way to know you used enough, right? Here we have it. Things are fitted reasonably well in there. I'll just let that sit there to dry.